Today's show was brought to you today by TheySource. This is a company that specializes in sea moss gels, sea moss capsules, sea moss powders, and many more holistic herbs and spices. These products can revitalize your immune system, support digestion, and nourish your skin all in one go. Visit theysource.com, that's THEYSOURCE.com, or call them at 210-465-9005 to support your healthy lifestyle today. Now, back to our show. Hey, KBIC listeners. I wanted to go over something with you today. It's very important that we need to talk about, and that's protecting your assets. Many of us, we live and we, experience life. We go through life. Some of us come from a background where our parents and our family didn't have much, but the love that they have for each other. Now we're stepping in a new day and age where, especially it's the information age, where we know a lot more than what our people understood or knew then. Some of the people back then couldn't even read or write. But we have an opportunity to have learned more within the time that we're here. And as good stewards of our children and of our assets, what we need to do is protect our assets, because there's so many people that's trying to take them from us. And we need to leave more for our children and our children's children. And that's what we should be thinking about, is our kids and our children's children's children. And that'll be able to put us in the opportunity to gain generational wealth. I know it's hard. Everybody goes to work, and some people are just going from day to day or week to week or month to month. But we need to look towards the future and do things that's going to help our seeds and our seeds. And if you're protecting your assets, you're careful with your money, you're a good steward of your money, you'll be able to do these things. I want to talk to you today about the importance of it. Trusts are very important. And many people may have heard it. When we was younger, we used to make fun or laugh at people. They had a saying, trust baby. That meant, to us, it meant they were spoiled. But in actuality, what that means was that somebody had set up them an opportunity to be able to have more in life after their parents or grandparents are gone than actually us. So today we want to talk about two different types of trust. We have in the trust world, you have so many different types of trust. You have things that's called REIT, which is real estate investment trust. REITs are when a group of people pull together to invest in a particular trust that deals with real estate. It's something like an index fund. But in this particular trust, the dividends or the payout or the interest that's being paid on the real estate goes back to the investors that are invested in that fund. And a lot of times that particular REIT, it could be tax deductible. You can waive your tax burden by having your investments in REITs and different things like that. So you also want to check every year in regards to the laws that are being passed. That's why you want to keep up with things politically. You want to understand what laws are passed that's going to help you. These are financial vehicles that's going to help and allow you to be able to use these to the fullest extent. You have your irrevocable. What we're going to talk about today, though, that's another subject. What we're going to talk about today is irrevocable and revocable trust. Mainly, we're going to focus on irrevocable trust because those are the things that you'll leave to your kids, your children's children's after you're gone. Those are things that you put in and you have it designed and set up for a big beneficiary later on down the line. So many people don't know what a trust is and how to create one, and we're going to help you do that today. This is not financial advice, but what this is something that we do that has allowed us to change our life, and hopefully towards the future be able to change our children's and our children's children's life. This information, it took me years to study, took me years to find out what this is, how to go about creating and bringing it to life. And I wanted to share this with you all today because it has made a big difference in my life and everybody else's life who uses this. A trust, or an irrevocable trust, most of us, we make wills to make sure that our families are taken care of after we pass away, and that our personal property is divided fairly. That's what the average person does. However, few people are aware of how crucial it is to create a trust for their family and their business. Trusts distinguish between legal and equitable business ownership as distinct legal entities. So what that means is, trust is its own entity. It's its own person. When we talk about the definition, we talk about legal jargon. Everything in business or everything in life is legal. It's law. Everything in life is law. From your business to your marriage to everything has a certain law that pretty much govern its existence. So the trust is its own legal entity. That means it's its own person. It has the same type of rights as you and I. What a lot of people don't realize is that when laws were created for the freedom of black folks, a lot of those laws says that persons. And so in actuality, it's allowing black people to fall under that umbrella, but it was created for businesses. Those businesses can be a person. You cannot discriminate against persons. That means you can't discriminate against people or a business. A business is considered a person when you're talking about legal jargon. When you talk about in a legal definition, that's why I think it's very important that everybody get you a Black Law Dictionary so you understand what these legal terms mean. But trust distinguishes between legal and equitable business ownership as a distinct legal entity. Business owners can transfer their ownership interest into a trust and specify how it will be dispersed after the passing or while they're still alive. So even while we're here, you have the opportunity to control your things and your assets the way you want them to be. But after you're gone, your trust designate what's happened to those things or those assets after you're gone. A will really doesn't do that. A will has to be debated in court, and any assets are taxed as they're passed down to the younger generation, or whoever you leave that to. But business owners can transfer their ownership interest into a trust and specify how it's going to be dispersed after their passing and while they're still alive. Irrevocable trust will permanently transfer assets into the trust and give you ownership interest of that trust. So the difference between a revocable means you can put it in there and you can take it back out. Irrevocable means that you can put it in the trust, but you can't take it back out. You can control it, but it's still and always going to belong to the trust, and that's designed for the benefit of the beneficiary. And that's why that's called an irrevocable trust. If you look at it, it's designed and it's set out to make sure it's in the best interest of the beneficiary. So if you put it in a trust, you can't take it back out. You can control it all the way up until the time you pass away, but it belongs to the trust at the benefit of the beneficiary. And that's very important. An irrevocable trust conditions cannot be altered or terminated without the beneficiary's consent. So what that means is, if I was like a trust, I have a trust and I have my son as the beneficiary. Well, if I put something in there for my son, I put something in the trust for my son, and my son is the beneficiary. Technically, he, in order for me to take something out or change different things about it, change the conditions, he has to be okay with that. He has to consent that. And what I would suggest is, if anybody you put in control as a beneficiary, make sure you trust those people, because these are who you're going to be leaving your assets to. I always got a thing that I say: I don't leave anything, or I don't put any people in control of anything just because they're family, just because they're friends, just because I love them. I put the most capable people in charge of things that I need to get done. And that's how we have to look at life and different things when we're dealing with business and we're dealing with assets. These are very important because we come from a background of nothing. And in order for us to even gain 1 or 2, 3 hundreds of assets means a lot. And that's something that we just don't want the next person to come in line to throw away. We want them to be able to be good stewards of the assets that they have obtained from us and be able to continue on and gather more assets for the ones that come after them. And that's how we should be thinking. Most banks will require an irrevocable trust in order to, like I said, to protect the assets, which will now become the assets of your beneficiary once you're gone. It's a great setup. It's an easy setup. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to go over this with you. And the reasons why you should set up an irrevocable trust. Now, for both you and your company, and anybody that you leave behind, creating a trust for you and your family and your business has many advantages. It has a whole bunch of advantages if you want to look at it in a tax perspective, if you want to look at it as far as preventing family from bickering and arguing about who gets what. You don't have that situation because it's designated on who is going to control and do what. You already set that out before you leave. And many people, as you know, especially our folks, when it comes to leaving things behind and probate, and it's not organized about who's going to get what, it becomes a problem within the family. People start looking at each other different. Money has a way of changing people, especially when our older generation passes on and they don't have that organized about who is going to do what. So everybody's guessing what intentions would grandma or mom have, or grandpa, what would have been their intentions. Or everybody has a different perspective on how they think that they would have taken care of things or wanted things to go. In a trust, this prevents all of that. It prevents all of this arguing and bickering and it's designated out, set out line by line, word by word, what the intentions are for the person who created it. So you don't have those type of different issues. A trust can help you prepare for the future and keep your assets out of the courts and in the hands of your family. We're going to explain that to you, why that's important. Many people don't realize why that's important, and they don't understand what these certain legal terms. There's a thing called cheat, and I'm going to explain that to you now. I was going to wait, but I'm explaining that to you now. What is a cheat? And it's spelled ESCHEAT. To me, my whole understanding and the way I've always perceived this and the way I've always remembered this is a form of cheating you out of your money. And this is a legal term. This is legal. This is what a cheat means. In the absence of your family or beneficiaries, the government has the legal authority to seize estate assets or unclaimed property. This practice is known as a cheat. When assets go unclaimed for an extended amount of time, cheat rights may also be given. These circumstances may alternatively be known as bona fide. It's hard to say. It's Latin, but it's vacinesa or unclaimed property. It's most laws, the laws that we have. Me studying law, I've studied so many different laws and I understand them. Everything is written in the form. Well, most laws are written in the form of Latin. And then it goes back all the way back until the rights, of the Bible and everything like that. All of this is law. So if no other claimants or ownership exist, it can be easily identified. The state or federal government would be the owner of record under the notion of escheat. In the United States, escheat rights related to issues are governed by state-specific laws and rules. So when we're dealing with people who pass away, have unclaimed property, that property is going to get taken by the government. And they're going to decide who it goes to, if it goes to anybody. So basically, I look at it as like you got cheated out your land, or cheated out your property, cheated out your assets. That's where your probate and also probate comes in. Death and escheat estate assets that do not have a will or a trust are deemed intestate in the event of death. Every death, that means that they don't belong to you. They don't, your family that you had, once you're gone, if you don't have a will or a trust, that property goes over to the government. Now, every death and every person's final wishes are often decided by a probate court when there's no will or trust. And all of us know that, at least that are my age, dealing with a probate court, it's a big hassle. Not only that, is they're going to tax you. Additionally, interstate deaths are subject to probate, which entails finding potential heirs to receive property or assets. Spouses, siblings, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, and possibly other distant relatives are among the beneficiaries who may be entitled to inherit the property at an interstate estate. So that property that's left by grandpa or grandma or mom or dad, that asset which you would have thought that would have come to you, in actuality, the state might feel it should go to somebody else that's very distant, or you might didn't get in contact with them in time or the right way, and it goes to somebody else that's really distant, that person had no relation with. And this is why we want to not dip our head in the sand. We want to come out and take care of our business. We want to take care of our business so there's no misunderstanding of what the assets and things that we have, where we want them to go, and who we want them to go to. So there's no mistake. A judge will grant escheat rights to the state in the event that a probate court cannot identify the people or family for the unclaimed property after death. Escheat may also happen if a will is found invalid. Let me say that again. A escheat may happen if a will is found invalid. So if a will is created and the judge say that this is invalid, then he can deem that property to the state. And as you know, we can't trust everybody to do the right things with our stuff. So we want to take control of the things that we do, and the things that we have, the assets that we have. Now, the escheat may also happen, like I said, if a will is not found and it's invalid, and the legitimate heirs of the estate are difficult to locate. In most interstate, not interstate, but intestate deaths, the presence of a heir eliminates the requirement for escheatment. So if your family is present, it prevents the government from doing the escheat, but it don't prevent them from taxing you to get that property. Escheat, however, may also take effect if a person's legal heirs are found to be incapable of handling the inheritance and no other rightful heirs can be found. Who do we want to put in control to say who's incapable of handling the inheritance? One thing I did learn is that you never know when you'll be considered incapable of handling your own situation. Mind you, I'm gonna take you back a couple years to when I had caught COVID. I was in a hospital dying, and but I was able to talk good enough to telling people, hey, I don't want that mask on my face. I don't want that, and I don't want that inhaler. I don't want that mask on my face. It makes me feel like I'm dying. I don't want that. And they're telling me that I'm gonna die if I don't put it on. And I'm saying, hey, look, I don't want that on. It makes me feel like I'm gonna die if I have it on. Well, they start talking to my family and say, hey, he's not incapable of making decisions. So it got to the point where I say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna leave this hospital and I'm gonna go to another hospital. And they had me hostage. They had me hostage where they say I'm incapable of making decisions when I'm talking to these people vividly every day. Said I'm incapable of making decisions. I can't make those type of decisions on my own because I'm in the hospital, which to me was it was totally crazy, you know. And what I don't want to happen is, you know, people out here who, you know, it takes them a long time to gather assets, and they have some, and then you have the government come in and say, or anybody come in and say, hey, they were incapable. Your family who you left this to is incapable of handling the inheritance, so it goes off to them. They had cheated right out away from the people that you left it to. You don't want that to happen. So we want to take care of our business in a way where it's all designated and it's pinpointed out and what we want and how we want it to be. And this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing this today. Now, in a trust, in an irrevocable trust, you can pay off debts. Making a trust is a great idea if you do not want your ex-spouse or your current spouse or your kids to inherit your business or any other obligations, which we consider debt, while you are alive or after you pass away. So in creating this trust, you can say, hey, I want the trust. I have this certain amount of assets. I want the trust to pay off A, B, C, or D. And once I pass away, those are things that if it's in the trust, the trust has to pay it out. So your family is not obligated to be living with debt after you're gone. Your business assets could be taken to pay off alimony, child support, or any other personal debt if you don't have a trust. So what they're saying is that your assets that you have, it could be taken from you to pay off alimony, child support, or any personal debt if you don't have a trust. You don't have this designated. Like we said, this trust is a separate entity. It's its own person. And it's set out for the benefit of the beneficiary. So in the long term, creating a trust guarantees that your company will have the it would have the permission and working cash it needs to continue to exist and grow in your absence. Now, if you have a will, your LLC or your business dies when you die. Creating a trust, you have the people designated to run your things after you're gone. This thing, it has a life of its own after you're gone. Not only that, you can reduce your tax burden. It's against the law to avoid paying taxes, but it's not against the law to use the tax laws at the highest or at the best that they can be used. The laws that are set out, that are designed for it, for you to read and understand those laws every year. It's not against the law for you to take advantage of the tax laws and use them at your benefit. That's what they're there for. Our problem is that we don't take the time or have the assets to hire somebody to take care of that for us. While a trust tends to reduce state inheritance taxes, it does not protect you from federal estate taxes. Additionally, gifting stock and purchasing life insurance can pay off any obligations that you may have. In regards to this, both a CPA and an estate planning lawyer can assist you in tax planning. And I also want to also say that there's a difference between a CPA, certified public accountant, and a tax planner or estate planner. These are totally two different people and they're kind of the same field, but they do two different things. Tax planning helps you plan your assets in a way to the fulfillment of the law, of the tax law. And these people are specialized in dealing with those type of things. As we stated, you can prevent probate. You can reduce the amount of time your assets spend in probate by taking the effort right now to create a trust for you and your family and your business. A trust consolidates all these assets for you, which means that you can skip probate and consolidate all of your assets, which also means that you may skip that process and save your family time and money. Your family will already have the assets. They don't have to wait. Once you pass away, they have control of that. They can go right into the bank and continuously using the bank just as you was using it, because the beneficiary, now mind you, that's the beneficiary that can go in there and use the bank because their name and information is on there. It's already designed or designated for them to be able to do that. And once they are in control, they create a beneficiary for them. So when they pass away, their beneficiary will be able to do the same thing that your beneficiary does. So that means going in to the bank, coming out the bank, being able to take care and pay bills, run the companies. Your trust should own your LLCs, or it depends. I'm not going to say should. It depends on, you have to evaluate your lifestyle and figure out what works best for you. Your trust can own your LLCs, and it can own your holding companies or anything that you may want it to have. It can own your properties. It can own anything that you want it to own. And you and your family already have assets, and they have access to get the money they need without probate. And by having this, it will lessen the expense for your beneficiaries, the people that you leave here. If you do not have a will or a trust, your assets will go to escheat, or maybe escheated to the state. And once again, it's very bad. If an individual dies intestate, intestate without hearings, the real and personal property of that individual is subject to escheat. Now, this is very important for you. Very important for you guys to know the difference in these things. I explain this to you because these things are things that we use and anybody else use. That's gonna try to protect their assets. Now, there's plenty of accounts that you can have that can be cheated off. Your checkings account can be cheated. Your brokerage accounts, your accounts, your pension accounts, and savings accounts all can be cheated to the state and won't leave your people or your family nothing. Now, a trust, you may ask, what is a trust and how do I create it? This is what I studied for years. And I had to study for years because, at the time, I just didn't have the money to go pay all these people to create these things for me. Not only that, I could have paid some money to have them create these things. But I'm a type of person, I like to understand and know things. And I like to be able to have the information so I can help other people, So I studied these things. These are things that I studied. I'm very infatuated with law. I like the way the law is set out. I feel that it could be very beneficial for everybody to understand law. I realized that back, around the time this country was created, majority of every citizen, which they call layman, majority of the layman people understood law. And the reason why you hire an attorney is because it's telling the state that you don't understand law, and what you become is a ward to the state. That means that you become like a little child who understands nothing, and you need an attorney to help you explain these things for you. Now, I'm not shying away from anybody having an attorney to take care of their legal business, anything they have to take care of. You should always have an attorney to help you take care of your legal things. But you should understand the law so you can hold that attorney accountable. You should always understand these legal factors so you can hold them accountable. Now, a trust is one element of an asset protection strategy that is currently designed. It's designed for you. You must have your name or your business name and information on there. You must also name the beneficiary of your trust and how you want the trust to operate. A well-rounded plan uses both a bank account and an LLC or other types of company entities. A LLC is a limited liability company, and it can control your financial accounts as an additional control instrument. And the organization structure allows the settlor, which is you, to be the company manager, giving you day-to-day control over your assets. So what that means is if you have an LLC is a person, it's its own entity as well. It can control the financial accounts and things that you wanted to control in the business. And the organization, the way you have it structured out, is you have it where it allows you as the person that created the trust to be the company manager, giving you the day-to-day control of all the assets. So you control everything. But you don't own everything. And I didn't understand. I used to hear all of these rich folks say, I didn't become wealthy until I gave away everything. I never understood what that meant. But what they were actually telling me as time was going on and the more that I was studying is they gave away everything that they had. And the only way, once they gave away everything that they had, which was giving it to their trust or foundation or whatever it is they gave away, they didn't become financially free until they did that. Because by doing so, they protected their assets. Investments and banking accounts are managed in accordance with carefully drafted trust provisions. You're going to draft this out in the way that you want it designated for your life. These are sophisticated structures, and they are subject to the laws of your trust county that you live in. A full trust strategy, including an LLC and a private bank account, is the most adaptable and it allows you to control and granting options while other people are going through situations where they don't do that. And it allows you to have a private and give you some options while the water are calm. You want to do this while everything is calm and okay, so you're not getting into a situation and then you're rushing to try to see where to put your finance. You want to do this while everything is going good for you, so you can protect your assets. You don't start protecting your assets when people start coming for them. You protect it before they come for them. So the trustee can then intervene and make the necessary arrangements if these things become rust. So once they see something that is not right, the trustee is designated, and you can be the trustee designated. You can be the trustee while you're alive, designated to control the trust until after you're gone. After you're gone, your beneficiary becomes the trustee, and they be able to control everything just like you did. It's a cycle that runs around, and you keep that cycle moving. Your family keeps that cycle moving, and you keep all of these other entities, government entities, out of that circle to prevent them from taking things from you. And we provided a downloadable file. We understand about these trusts and things, and we want to create one. Let everybody, you can download this and draft it on your own. We provided a downloadable file to assist you in drafting your own irrevocable trust. It's personalized. You make it personalized for you or your business needs. We've drafted an outline. This saves you a lot. This saves you thousands of dollars. We made it easy for you to create this entity. Do not forget that you must fill in the blanks, your name, your business name, and your information. You must also name the beneficiary of your trust and how you want your trust to operate. This is a do-it-yourself living trust that is easy to be personalized. And that's what we created for you all. We have added a bonus PDF that has a step-by-step instructions on when you download this on how our clients, or how we created a trust, set up an EIN from the IRS, and how to set up a bank account in the name of your trust so you can start funding it. Remember, a trust is just a trust on paper if you don't bring it to life. It took me a lot of years to find out what that meant. What that means is a trust is just a paper. If you don't bring it to life, you have to breathe life into that trust. And how you breathe life into that trust is to fund it. Remember that a trust is just a trust if you do not bring it to life. In order for you to bring it to life, you have to fund it. The trust is not effective until you transfer ownership of your assets into it. And we provided an example within the downloadable file. As soon as you purchase the trust, it is ready to be downloaded and available for use. If you need us to add some of your personal information, there's an administrative fee. But I think we shouldn't even go there. I think it's easy and it's self-explanatory. You're more than welcome to comment, more than welcome to call us, and we'll walk you through the process that you may need. If you have questions, leave your name and information in the box below, and we'll reach back out to you. Like I said, this is for family and friends to protect your assets. This is for people, anybody who wants to protect their assets, who don't have the legal means and the money to pay thousands of dollars to have this done. You'll have something that you can create that's structured for you, that will allow you to use that for your best interest. We are by no means providing legal or tax advice, and we want to make that clear. But we're just doing what we do, things that we've done that help our people, people that we know, which it has helped. It's a good thing for you to have. It's not a good thing. It's a great thing for you to have. And you guys, we hope that we've done a service to you, and we hope that you really take heed to the information that we say today, because it's very valuable. And it can very much help you throughout your endeavors in life. Upon the purchase, the purchaser acknowledged the validity of the copyrights and intellectual property rights and any and all written materials or packaging in which the company has as a claim for copyright protection. Meaning that, we created this trust document from scratch. We created this document. Anybody that claims that they created this, you'll be infringing on intellectual property rights. We don't expect people to take this and go copy this and be able to go sell this all over town for thousands of dollars. We don't expect people to do that. And if someone get caught doing that, we definitely will put a claim against you, because those are intellectual properties of ours that we created this particular document, and we created this document to be of help to people. And we didn't create this document so people could go around taking it and copying it and then charging thousands of dollars for this document in the hopes of helping our people, And we see so much of that today. Everybody want to have these, everybody wants to have these courses that they're telling you how to do certain things that's going to benefit you, but they don't even give you, they're not giving you what you're paying for. Everybody want to have a course that you to do. That's something that we're not going to do, and we're not going to allow anybody else to do off of things that we created. Our whole goal here at KBIC is knowledge, business, and to be able to teach people other things. We want you guys to be creative. So there's so many things that we do here that we want to put out to be able to help people. And to be honest with you, the average cost of a trust, depending on how complicated your financial position is, hiring a lawyer to set up a trust could run you anywhere from $1,000 to $700. For instance, certain circumstances can call for irrevocable trust for some assets and irrevocable trust for others. At least the least expensive that we found on our journey and looking at this information, I don't think that you could find anything that's under $400 to get. And that's just a document that you have to fill in the blank. And we've created one that you can download. It's only $155. That $155 is something that you'll spend on the weekend, going out having fun. But you can take that amount of money that you would normally spend at the club or at the bar or anywhere going out to eat. You can take that money, invest in yourself, and be able to help protect the assets of you and your family. And if anything, we wanted to be able to provide this information for you so you can look into these things and you understand what these things are, because there's a million people walking around right now that don't even know how beneficial a trust can be for them. There's a million people walking around that don't even have a will set out. Something is better than nothing, but a trust will be able to protect your assets all the way even after you're gone. And that's what you want to do. You want to protect your assets. You want your assets to run a certain way even when you're not here. So like I said, you want to put the right people that are capable in charge of being able to take care of your things for you. And this is the reason why we came here today, to provide you with this information. And like I said, we hope you take heed to this information, because this information is very valuable. It can help you, and we hope that this information does set some fire under some people to be able to take control of your life, take control of your assets, and be able to make changes for you that's going to help you and your family. You got to love yourself. You got to invest in yourself. And with those things, your financial first, if you can't, there's no need of you making money if you make money and somebody's going to take it from you. There's no need for you to make money if they're going to take it from you. So you got to protect your assets before you get the money. Got to protect your assets. Or as you're getting money, you got to protect your assets. So when people come along and they try to take something from you, they can't do it. They can't do it because your assets are protected. And people can't take anything from something that they don't have. You can't take anything from me because I don't own anything. I own absolutely. You need to be in your life where people can't take anything from you. And it's important that nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Now, it's kind of crazy because I'm pretty sure that you guys wouldn't expect me, little old me, to be able to explain these things to you. But who else is explaining this to you? You understand that? So there's so many things. And that's another reason why we created KBIC. Is because many people that you sit around with every day, many people that you run into every day, me and them have so many different type of intellectual conversations that will help people in their everyday life. And these are people that you don't even know that's around in your circle that have these type of conversations or have this type of information on their brain. You don't know. And because not everybody has the time to share all this information with everybody. So this is the reason why we want to come on. This is the reason why we bring people on the show, to show you these things, and these people are captivating everyday life and the things that are happening in everyday life. These might be the people you've seen from high school. These might be the people that you've known throughout your journey. But these people are doing something different than you may have even known or suspected. And that's why we want to bring KBIC family and friends together to show everybody that everybody has potential. We all have potential. We all have information that we can bounce, and ideas we can bounce off each other, and things that we can learn from each other. Each one teach one. And we hope that this information was helpful to you all today. If it was, continue to follow us, like the things that we do. Share this information with people. Knowledge is most important, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't execute on it. So we hope that this information was good for you today. We love you. We're going to provide you more information and give you everything that you need to get you to the next level. Today's show was brought to you today by Daysource. This is a company that specializes in sea moss gels, sea moss capsules, sea moss powders, and many more holistic herbs and spices. These products can revitalize your immune system, support digestion, and nourish your skin all in one go. Visit daysource.com, that's THEYSOURCE.com, or call them at 210-465-9005 to support your healthy lifestyle today. Now, back to our show.